Welcome to the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. I am Paige Bamgboshe Roethlisberger.
Hi everyone, and I'm Naomi Bamgboshe.
And this is the Bamgboshe Happy Hour Pop Edition. Happy 4 years, Bamgboshe Happy Hour.
Oh, thank you, sweetie, and the same to you. Congratulations. It's been so wonderful.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like 4 years.
Oh, time flies when you're having fun.
There you go.
You want to do a toast?
Yes.
For us?
Let's lift our glasses to continued success, health, wealth, happiness, long life, prosperity, to Bamgboshe Happy Hour. Salud.
Salud.
Woo, woo, woo.
Oh.
All right, daughter, what's going on?
Okay. Well, we like to start everything off, as always, with sports. And we know that we had a shocking lottery win by the Dallas Mavericks, who were only had a 1.8 chance of securing the number 1 overall pick. And guess what? They have.
All right.
Now, we don't know exactly who's going to be the number 1 pick, but we are 99% sure that is going to be a gentleman by the name of Cooper Flagg. Now, Cooper Flagg is a phenom. He's a two-way player. He happens to be white. He can dunk. He can defend. He can score. And it's looking like he may actually help the Mavs. Now, we don't know. You never know until you have the person on your team. They could turn out to be a bust, or they could turn out, to be one of the all-time greats.
Let me guess. He's not American born.
No, he's American.
Good for him.
Yes.
Oh, good for him. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So I don't know what you think, man. A lot of people are thinking that it's rigged. A lot of people don't understand how.
Oh, no.
When there were several other teams like San Antonio, like Utah, that had like 14% chance.
Oh, no. It couldn't be rigged. As honest as these people all are,
Right,
the owners and everyone involved in the whole draft process.
They're great.
Yes. Those people are above reproach. They're just full of integrity.
Do you think that Dallas should still be mad at Nico Harrison for trading Luka? Do you think this absolves Nico?
No, we don't know what's up yet.
That's right.
We haven't seen any results.
He could be a bust.
Right, that's right. Please. Oh, no. The proof is in the pudding. We have to see.
They're saying that it seems like he's a real deal, but we don't know.
Yeah,
for sure.
Seems like. All the glitters ain't gold, okay? So we'll see. Never mind what you're saying. I'm too busy looking at what you do, okay?
Right.
So we shall see.
Okay, I agree with you. Let's see about this Cooper man. Knowing the Mavs, they might trade him away and try to get Giannis. That's the other thing that people were saying, but I'm hearing that Dallas won't do that. But we're hearing that Giannis wants to leave Milwaukee, and if he leaves Milwaukee, Dallas looks like an attractive spot for him. However, he's 10 years older than Cooper, so there's that.
Yeah. Okay, and there's also the other thing that none of these teams or players have loyalty, okay? So we know everybody is chasing 2 things, time and money, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So however that works out for Giannis and the Mavericks and on and on and on, that's how it's going to go down.
Oh, for sure.
Period.
So we will see what happens.
Okay.
All right. I'm looking forward to an exciting, dramatic NBA season.
All right. Well, we're having an exciting playoff season.
Yes. Speaking of playoffs, the Timberwolves have knocked off the Warriors 4-1. Now, we thought that the Timberwolves would probably knock off the Warriors because Steph is out.
Well, we knew it.
Once that
because
happened,
statistically, they have proven that they can't win without Steph.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Who can win without Steph?
Well, not
Nobody
them.
Can.
Well, not maybe somebody, but not them.
Well, okay. And then we have the Celtics and the Knicks, and we know now the Knicks still lead the series 3-2, but the Celtics beat the Knicks by like 25 points last night. So
well, I don't know what
that.
That means. I'm not really sure what happened with that. They had a couple scrimmages going on and a couple little unpleasantries.
Well, Jalen Brunson did foul out, but he fouled out in the fourth quarter. So
well, I don't know. So let's just see, because one thing that the Knicks have got to know is that they can beat the Celtics. They know that. They've proven it. Well, that goes a long way.
Well, let's see.
Because until it happens, sometimes
people
these
act
teams...
Crazy.
Well, people do act crazy all the time. But sometimes people don't have the confidence and belief that they can beat whoever seems to be most imposing, the most imposing team, which, of course, is the Celtics, you know.
And but the Knicks are an underdog in this series,
absolutely. But guess what? We see David and Goliath fights all the time. And guess what?
It's true.
Sometimes David wins, right?
Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Even if that's a fair analogy, I don't even know. You know,
we will see what happens tomorrow.
But
remember, they're out without Jason Tatum, the Celtics.
Yeah. Well, let's just see.
Okay.
I see you feel they need some sort of handicap going into it, but okay. So let's see how it goes. Good luck, guys. Good luck to all involved. Good luck to all. You mean
good luck to the Knicks? You're not wishing the Celtics any luck. They already had.
Well, I don't want to see.
The Celtics have already.
Listen, we know that they are the most winning franchise in basketball. Basketball. Not baseball. Sorry, guys. Basketball history. Okay, we got that. We know that basketball owes them nothing, and they owe basketball nothing, because they are the GOATs. We already understand that.
Let's move it on.
Okay. Good luck, Knicks. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay, so let's get into it a little bit. We don't have to delve deeply into it because I am not a lawyer.
And I'm not going to delve that deeply into it.
As of May 15th, the federal criminal trial of Diddy is underway.
Yes.
Diddy Combs in Manhattan, where he faces multiple felony charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation for prostitution.
Correct.
So we know that the trial began on May 5th. One of the key witnesses is, of course, Combs' ex-girlfriend, singer Cassie. Cassandra Ventura is her legal name.
Yes.
In her testimony, Ventura alleged that during their 11-year relationship, which ended in 2018, Combs subjected her to physical and emotional abuse, coerced drug-fueled sexual activities, and orchestrated events that they referred to as freak-offs, where she was compelled to engage in sexual acts with male escorts while Combs watched. She also recounted a 2018 incident where she claims Combs raped her after a breakup. We know that there's something that came out about hiring a male escort to urinate on her.
Yeah.
And how she was choking on that and uncomfortable with that. The defense argued that Ventura's 2023 civil lawsuit, which settled for $20 million, damaged Combs' career by publicly disclosing the private sexual behavior. Ventura is currently 8 months pregnant. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the trial.
I've heard clips. I've heard clips from today.
There's a lot.
Because Cassie is giving testimony,
right, and
currently.
She's also being cross-examined today.
Absolutely.
So, just in public, well, you heard, I guess, I don't know if we mentioned this on the podcast, but the jury is 8 men.
Is it 8 men?
It's 8 men.
I thought it was 12 men.
No, it's not 12 men.
Okay.
No, it's 12 people.
No, I'm talking about with the alternates and everything, because there's like 20 with everything all included.
Well, they said that they're
it's like 12 men and 8 women or something like that, all included.
Well, they said 8 men and 4 women.
Yeah, it's mostly male.
Right, and they said 4 of them are of color. I don't know what the color is, and then the other 4 white, and then the women are all of color.
Right.
So whatever.
I don't even know what that means, because we have so many biased thoughts, and sometimes women are self-sabotaging. Sometimes women buy into the, whatever. And I heard some of Cassie's responses, and oh my goodness, they had old texts that she sent him, and sounding lovey-dovey, and her sounding totally complicit in a lot of things. What I'm going to say, I don't know how this whole mix is going to end up. What I'm going to say is this, that we know. And that to me is the most damning, because we saw it. And that's the way he brutally savaged Cassie.
But let me just say that when you said that she was complicit, you were...
No.
Trying to say...
I mean, consensual. In their a lot of their stuff.
But you're just trying to say that's just what the defense brought up.
Absolutely.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. During cross-examination. Absolutely.
Right.
Oh, I mean, that is their job, And that's what I'm saying to you is that we are not subjected to everything the jury is hearing. Mm-hmm. So not just the composition of the jury, mm-hmm. but what they're actually hearing from Cassie, who is going to be the heaviest witness against him, we think. Mm-hmm. But if I'm to believe what I heard on the live, mm-hmm. okay, if I'm to believe that, there's some people who have testimony about even worse criminal, not sexual freak off, or not consensual freak off, or non-consensual freak off, but something even heavier than that. And now I'm just telling you what the legal experts were saying and what the testimony was saying as of today, because it was not long ago when I quit listening to it. It's a lot. All I'm trying to say is that we think we've heard a lot. There's worse.
What I will say...
Worse allegations.
No, what I will say is that just in general, all of this stuff that's, coming out, Cassie's being very brave. She's 8 months pregnant. I don't know how she can do it. Go up there and testify.
She's got to do it. Because she is a mother, because she is a woman, she's got to do it.
But I will say, listen,
because
I don't
what
know
he did, because the way he treated her, she's got to do it.
What I will say is, whatever you want to say about whatever she did, she participated in freak offs and all this other stuff. There's video footage of this woman running away from Diddy. There's and
right
we
on,
also
daughter.
know
right on.
that he has tried to pretty much almost kidnap her. She's run away from him.
Tried to,
and so
tried to
say that it was consensual.
He kidnapped her in front of us. He kidnapped her in front of us. Right. Tried to. What I'm saying to you is, what they're trying to present mm-hmm. is old data, old receipts, and her live testimony about things that happened years ago.
You know who else's name
now.
Came up? I don't know. Michael B. Jordan. Did you see that? And that she, I guess, was talking to him at some point in time.
I heard a few names come up, and that's all I'm going to say. Okay. I heard somebody's name come up, and they witnessed a certain act that was so vile, they grabbed their wife and left.
No, but that's not what you heard in the court testimony.
Yes, it is.
You heard that in the court testimony?
Yes, it is.
Or you heard that guy say that?
Nope.
Did you read it?
I heard it.
Okay.
I heard it.
So let's not hear
from one of the witnesses.
You heard a witness say that?
Well, it was on
in
social media.
No, don't say you. I'm talking about public.
Surrounding. Court. I didn't hear it out of his mouth. I heard it reported. Okay. On a live. Now, I don't know, because let me explain to you why. Everything is allegation. Your point is well taken. I didn't see that. There's only one thing that we saw. So far, that we saw. But the allegations are so heavy. Okay. Not against Tom, Dick, and Harry. Wait a minute. Not against Tom, Dick, and Harry, but against Sean Diddy Combs. Okay. I'm talking about. I'm talking about who saw whatever. Right. I just do that in there because that was one of the things that they discussed.
Okay.
But I'm talking about things against Sean Diddy Combs. so far we've seen one thing that we know for sure that happened.
All right.
He didn't, we think allegedly kidnapped her. We saw him beat her down and drag her back into the suite or room or whatever you want to call it. We saw it. Millions of people saw that.
Hotel with $100,000 to keep that.
And there's the video. Oh, never mind.
All right,
we'll talk about it later.
Let's move.
We'll talk about it later. A lot of stuff going on.
Man, like you said, there's just a lot of information out there, and you're 100% correct.
Allegations.
Okay, and the public report everything that's coming out.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to somebody else who has been arrested today in Manchester is Chris Brown. Was arrested by the Metropolitan Police in Manchester. This arrest occurred at 2 a.m. on May 15th.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about in Europe?
Yes.
Okay.
He was taken into custody on suspicion of grievous bodily harm. Now, these charges stem from an alleged assault that took place on February 18th, 2023 at a venue in Hanover Square. The incident is also the subject of a lawsuit filed in November 2023 by Abe Dial, I don't know, who claims Brown assaulted him with a bottle of Don Julio 1942 tequila. That's some good tequila.
Oh, that's expensive.
Yeah,
you assaulting somebody with that expensive drink?
Right. Left him unconscious and caused permanent injuries. So, we will see what comes of that. The odd thing, I don't know if the odd thing is, if you want to use that terminology, Chris Brown had just said on social media, free Tory Lanez, and then the next day, they arrested him. They arrested Chris Brown, I should say.
Yes.
We do know that Chris Brown is suing Warner Brothers over $500,000 because they released a documentary about Diddy, and they also, tried to say that Chris Brown was like Diddy. So let me not laugh because it's not. It's just a mess.
It's all just a huge mess. It's all very disturbing, all scandalous. But guess what? What we need to be concerned about, and what they should have been concerned about, is the criminality of it.
Oh, yeah.
They somehow let all their partying go over into criminal behavior. Mm-hmm. And that's what most of us don't do. Mm-hmm. We will get drunk, we will get faded, we will get high, we will get whatever other word, twisted, whatever word you want to use. But when it goes over into criminal behavior, we got a problem. And guess what? When we have things to lose, and we get involved in criminal activity, everything is in jeopardy.
And it's sad because
everything
unfortunately it's part of the culture, and a lot of people just kind of, turn a side eye to it, Well, young women in particular, they are trying to be on a come up, and they, just let things go, and then know they shouldn't.
See, everybody wants the money, but nobody wants the grind.
Right.
Okay? 90% of it is about greed.
Oh, for sure.
Okay? Maybe 99% of it is about greed. Everybody wants the glory and the dollars, the coin, the fame, but nobody wants the grind.
Oh, for
and
sure.
That's the problem. Because 99% of these people, if they was willing to go through the steps, boom, 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 consistently, and go through the steps, it wouldn't be all this.
I'm in total agreement with you, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will see what happens.
The fastest way to get to where you want to be is to take it slow. Take it slow, day by day by day. That's the fastest way to get where you want to be. Take it slow. As we always say, or I always say, Confucius say, man in hurry must not rush. If you got someplace you want to go, someplace you want to be, something you want in your life, don't look for the shortcuts.
Okay.
Go through the steps.
Well, let's go to the next step because we have
I see you cutting me off, right? That also applies to this podcast.
Tory Lanez, as of May 15th, 2025, Tory Lanez remains hospitalized after a violent stabbing incident in prison while serving a 10-year sentence at a California correctional institution for the 2020 shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. Lanez was attacked by another inmate on May 12th. He suffered 14 stab wounds, including injuries to his back, torso, head, and face, and both lungs collapsed. He was transported to a hospital in Bakersfield and is now in stable condition, breathing on his own.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. But I don't know who stabbed them or if they even know or if anybody said anything. But I know one thing. He gonna have to be careful. They're gonna have to put him someplace else. A lot of people, look, I don't know what happened. But I could tell you one thing. It seems like he's not popular with everybody. That's all I want to say. Something, because a lot of people didn't think that was right, what he did to Megan.
Oh.
But
Chris Brown said free him. Okay.
Yeah, that's what Chris Brown said, and look at Chris Brown.
Okay.
He's constantly digging himself out of the mire, okay? He's always digging himself out the mud, okay?
Moving on to another woman who has alleged that she suffered abuse. That is Halle Bailey, who has been granted a restraining order against DDG, the father of her child, former boyfriend. On May 14th, she was granted a temporary restraining order against the rapper and social media personality by a Los Angeles County Superior Court. The court filing alleges years of abuse, both during and after their relationship, which ended in October 2024. They shared infant son, Halo St. Granberry, born in December of 2023. Now, some of the things that DDG is accused of: physical abuse, verbal and emotional abuse, financial abuse, ongoing harassment via social media. She says this behavior began during their relationship and has continued since their breakup. Halle stated she feared retaliation if DDG had been notified of her legal action beforehand, and the court agreed. Now, there is an incident earlier this year in January where he came to Bailey's home to pick up Halo. An argument escalated while Bailey was placing the baby in the car seat. She claims DDG began yelling, calling her a B, and ultimately became violent. Pulled her hair, slammed her face into the steering wheel, chipping a tooth, drove off with Bailey and Halo to his home, while Bailey says she begged his family to help before leaving injured.
Oh, okay.
Also, home invasion and assault. After an argument, DDG unplugged and smashed her Ring camera, locked her out of her home, grabbed her phone, hung up on her family member, threw her phone out of his car window while yelling at her.
Okay.
And she filed the police report following that. And there's ongoing issues with social media.
Okay.
He goes on social media to rant about her.
Good. Okay, very good. So let me just say this, okay? You ready for me to give my
Go
comments?
ahead. There's a bunch of stuff, but that's enough.
Oh, no.
They began dating in 2022, so that's...
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I want to say. Every young person is not foolish, okay? More foolish people are young, but every young person is not a fool. For these young people who are not a fool, moving forward, before you decide to procreate, or if you decide, before you decide to procreate again, assess the character of the person you are procreating with. Okay?
She talked about how this was the first time that she had her first
we
deep,
understand.
real love.
We understand.
And a lot of people were not happy
with him,
in public media. Yes, and social media.
As I'm continuing to say,
they feel she was very talented and has a promising career.
Every young person is not foolish. Some young people are much more level-headed and sensible than many older people. Mm-hmm. I want to say a word to the wise is sufficient. Even more importantly than how you get along with them and consider them as a lover and a companion and all that, before you procreate, consider how they would be as a parent. Because that relationship may go to hell in a handbasket, but the parent part is for life.
And why does nobody want to get married first?
Well,
what happens to that?
If you would take a minute, step back and take a minute and really assess how is this person going to be as a parent.
Right.
Because in the midst of all this stuff that you got going on, you may or may not even still be involved with him if you didn't have a child with him. You may or may not, I don't know, whatever. But that you have a child with him, you definitely are going to be involved with him on some level. Okay? That's number one. Number two, to have a young child or even an old child in the midst of all this violent upheaval and carrying on and back and forth is inexcusable and irresponsible. So young people, I'm not even talking about who you go with, who you get along. I'm not even going there. I'm talking about who you have children with. Think about the character of that individual before you do it. Not, ooh, is he cute? Ooh, is he tall? Ooh, is he, chocolate, vanilla, caramel, all this old ridiculous nonsense.
Butter pecan.
Yeah, pecan, all this here silly shit. Before you think about all that, think about, is he caring? Is he kind? Is he responsible? Okay? Not, is he slinging? Is he cute? Is he this? Not that. Those elements have nothing to do with being a caring and responsible and loving parent. And that's what you got to consider. Because the parenthood is for life.
You know what those other qualities are important, Ma? If you just want to have a sex partner.
Yeah.
If you want to have a sex partner, that's fine.
Have one.
But protect yourself so that you don't bring a life into this world.
Don't come with that nonsense because it's 1,000 ways. Like Paul Simon said years ago when I was a little kid.
I don't
50
think
ways. Listen, that's okay. Well, they can look it up. They can look it up. I know that you all are all too young. You can pull up anything on YouTube. 100 years old, you can pull it up on YouTube. 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover by Paul Simon. Pull it up. Slip out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. Hop on the bus, Gus. Okay?
Oh,
There's 1,000 ways. He says 50. That you don't need that many, okay? So guys, young people, please don't do that. What this young lady is going through, and him too, because something's not right with him. But what this young lady and this baby, what they're currently going through, that shouldn't happen.
And then
that should not happen.
And for people, because it's women too, but it is, I will say, predominantly men that are abusers.
Yeah,
it's
physically, absolutely.
There is something mentally wrong. There's something.
How did they get to where they are?
Right,
absolutely.
And then for you to abuse the mother of your child, what does that say about you?
And therefore your child.
Right. What does that say about you? How could you do that? Okay. I'm just sending positive vibes to the whole family. Good luck,
and hope that family gets all the support and resources they need to function in a healthier, safer way.
Right. Okay, speaking of an older Halle Berry was at the Cannes Film Festival, and she made headlines for potentially breaking the festival's updated red carpet dress code, which that part was really funny. She had on a voluminous black and pink gown, which was really pretty, featuring a high-low skirt and long train. And a lot of people were like, oh, how does she get to wear that? Because they recently banned like long trains and bulky outfits because they didn't want anything impeding the red carpet traffic, and seating. And so, but that is not really too much of an issue. The issue with Miss Halle, who I love Halle, she shared a playful and intimate Instagram video from her bed with her boyfriend, Van Hunt. Okay, she joked about ending her Mother's Day with a sensual twist. In the video, she appeared topless under a sheet, though, so you couldn't really see anything. And she held a travel-sized bottle of Let's Spin, a brand she helps develop. She teased fans saying, I hope all of you are somewhere spinning. We're about to can with Van, and urged her to hurry up. Now, what are your thoughts about this? She's been dating him since 2020.
Okay.
She believes that this is the first time that she's ever fallen in love with someone before sex, because she met him over the phone during the pandemic.
Okay, very good. My thought, it was a poorly timed commercial. That's my thought. The commercial should not have dropped.
It's not a commercial.
No. You say it's not a commercial. I say it's a commercial.
Okay.
Because she is involved in the development of what?
A loop.
I say it's a poorly timed commercial.
I gotcha.
Nothing wrong with the commercial under other circumstances.
Oh, this is on Mother's Day.
That's where bad judgment, poorly timed commercial.
Okay. Yeah, I love Halle, so I don't want to say too many bad things about Halle. I just think it was just, bad judgment. And Halle has had, quite a few times when we had to say, what, Halle?
Unless she's encouraging people to become impregnated because it's Mother's Day.
Maybe
you can celebrate on Mother's Day. So maybe that's the spin she was looking for.
Halle, so.
I love Halle too. In general, I'm going to say would have been better. Maybe, I guess it wasn't ready in time for Valentine's Day, or
she can wait.
Well, that's my thinking. Mm-hmm. She could have been to celebrate 4th of July and had some fireworks. Which is in 2 months. I just think it was a poorly timed commercial. Period.
Okay. This is just an update. You don't have to comment on this at all. Smokey Robinson, at the tender age of 85, is under investigation by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department after 3 women filed police reports accusing him of sexual assault. These reports prompted the Department of Special Victims Unit to open a criminal investigation, which is still in the early stages. We know there's 3 women I guess 3 women have filed, but there's 4 Jane Does who say they were former housekeepers and filed a $50 million civil lawsuit. So we will see what's going on. They're calling all of this, of course, a shakedown.
Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, shake
down. I don't have anything good to say on either side. As celebrities moving forward, obviously, number one, we will say, to not to participate in any criminal behavior, to not rape anyone, to not sexually assault anyone, which I don't think that Smokey Robinson did.
Nor do I.
I don't know Smokey Robinson. I just don't think that's something he did, and especially in the latter years of his life.
Right. There you go.
Be careful who you have around
in your environment.
Your personal life, your home.
That's right. Who you let into your space. Be very, very careful.
Right.
We've seen too many instances where things did not work out well.
Right.
Okay. And good luck, Smokey. Hey, Smokey, I always love you. I'll always love you, Smokey. From the time I was a little child and saw you first perform at the Apollo Theater when it was Smokey Robinson and the Miracles.
And this is all in our opinion. We don't know Smokey Robinson personally.
This whole show is our opinion.
And we don't know these women, and we do not condone any woman getting sexually abused.
Absolutely, and nor do we condone any man sexually abusing those women.
Correct.
Okay.
So this one is kind of a little bit more fun. Well, it's not really.
I hope so.
So Regina Jackson, who is Jaden Daniels' mom. You know Jaden Daniels, right? Okay. The quarterback for the Washington Commanders, and he did really well. He's a rookie quarterback. Speaks out about her. She was on the pivot, and she was speaking out about some misconceptions about their relationship. She addressed rumors that she controls Daniel's personal life.
That's that bossy one.
So
they claim.
I don't know if you want to say bossy. She seems to be very clingy to her son.
Right.
And like her son could be at her son.
Okay.
Her son can be at a wedding.
Is that a husband's son? One of those?
It could be. Could be. I don't know her status. I don't know if she's married. I don't know. I know there's different names there. She has a different last name than her son. So we don't know.
Well, we don't know what that means. Nothing.
It could mean anything.
It could mean 1,000 things. Yeah.
But what I will say is that Jaden Daniels seems like a sweet guy. Everybody loves him right now. He had a bomb year. He was excellent. Now she says that Jaden values her opinion because she has always been deeply involved in her children's lives and has earned their trust. She says the controversial comments came that she made 2 years ago about parental fears of people taking advantage of public figures like her son, emphasizing it's a universal concern for parents. Now, she says that she has dual degrees in hospital administration and entrepreneurial business.
Yeah,
and she's a certified agent, so she's qualified.
So she's his agent.
Yeah, she's protecting him from predators and vultures in the industry. I don't know if she's his agent.
Right.
That I don't know.
But
I think she's the manager.
She's certainly.
I don't think she's
well, she's certainly a consultant. We know that.
Correct.
Right.
Yes, and she says that her son is allowed to date. She wants him to date. Allowed? He's 24.
Okay, she approves of him dating whoever because her approval or disapproval is almost irrelevant.
She also said, "I had Jaden. Jaden didn't have me."
Yeah. Okay.
Any thoughts?
I mean, I don't understand.
He's a good kid. He's not a kid. He's a young man.
What is she doing this egregious except making him look like a mama's boy?
She's always with him.
She's okay,
and she appears to block certain women from talking to him.
Okay, two things.
Now, would you do that if you had a son?
No.
You wouldn't?
No. Absolutely not. Not that close like that.
I think you would.
No, I would not. No, I would not. No, I would not. Listen, don't let us go personal now.
No, don't go
because
I'm not talking about me.
Okay. Well, then why would you think I would do that?
What if Jalen Hurts was your son and he wasn't married?
I would stay close to him by way of phone and text and stuff.
You wouldn't be going to the club with him and partying?
No. What the hell no. How he gonna get his swerve on? No. I don't want my child to be miserable. No. What I might do. Now see, no. Okay. Because see, to me, that's actually stupid.
Well, that's how that's how his mother is.
Okay. Well, that's how she
or
is.
At least
to me,
allegedly.
Right. To me, that's actually stupid because what happens is that when you do that, you jeopardize your relationship with your child. So you don't want to do that.
Don't let him find a woman of his dreams.
So I would never do that. If she's trying to preserve and or strengthen her relationship with her child, and or if she's trying to protect his coin, she should not behave that way. Okay. That's not the way to behave. What I would do is that I would maintain my close emotional ties with my son. I might live nearby because I just don't want to be that far away from my son or whatever. But I wouldn't go anywhere with him unless he invited me out as a family thing, But I wouldn't be trying to go with him anywhere. I wouldn't try to go with him nowhere.
Would you ever
but what I would do,
from coming over to him? Would you do it?
Nope.
Ma.
Let me tell you how I would do it.
If
Let me
you
tell you how I
saw
would do
a
it.
certain type of woman-
No. This is how I would do it. I would keep my relationship with my son strong, or daughter, whoever, strong, so I could talk to my son.
Well,
and
we
daughter.
talking about sons because we know in general.
With my
It could
son.
be women.
Okay, with my son. But to me, okay, but wait a minute, I want to make my point. This is how I would do it. Now, maybe we're interpreting the same thing in different ways, okay? I would say, son, you going where with who? Well, wait a minute, son. Please be careful, because that individual has a reputation for being so and so and so. That reputation, is only going with this one and that one, and in the club and this and that. I would never not share my true concerns with my son. Or my son. I would always say to my son, listen, if I wanted to say, listen, I think she has a reputation for being promiscuous. I think she is the this and she is the that. Son, please, if you want to go have your fun, go ahead, but don't dig too deep. Don't get serious with this individual who does not present herself as a serious person.
All right. So
I would stay on top of that. But I wouldn't feel the need to accompany my son physically anywhere.
Here's the thing: the optics don't look good. I understand. I am not a mom, so I can't. I gotta be careful. That's why I'm going with you on a lot of stuff, because you're a mom.
Right.
But the optics don't look good. That is your son, and he loves you, and you love him more than anything in the world. Let him live his life. Let him be a man. You talk to him, when you want to talk to him.
Right.
But you don't need to be. And
you don't need to physically be there. I don't believe in that.
I believe that you raised him to be a good, decent
have confidence have confidence in that.
Right.
And be there to support and reinforce that in case he does slip up. Let him know you there. Okay, it ain't the end of nothing. We're gonna deal with this. Whatever. I'm here to support whatever your decisions are, but I just want you to be aware, son, please, because your heart can sometimes get into things, or even your lust can get into things that make you make cuckoo decisions.
So
and you just a young man, right? So all of those things. No, I would always be there, and my children of any gender or in between genders or both genders, whatever they are, I would let them know that I'm there. But physically, let me tell you how I would physically be there. If it's like a gag, if it's like my birthday or something crazy, and you say, "Oh, come on, we go up and show you something outrageous." If it's something like that, I'm down with it. But you just going on your regular socializing on your regular party nights, I'm not involved in that. I'm not in that. I'm uncomfortable in that. I know better. That ain't my space.
No,
I'm not trying to have it be my space.
I know that you don't like that.
I'm not trying to have it be my space. Let it be
you
your
will
space.
Say how you feel.
I will say how I feel as long as I'm breathing. I will share with my kids how I feel, and I will feel that if I don't, I'm disrespecting my kids.
Right.
So that's how I feel.
Let's move on now. So let's do something fun. So this is some famous momagers. Okay, let's do them. We're not gonna do dad.
Please mention the ones that I know.
Kris Jenner. Your thoughts on her as a momager?
Excellent. If you're looking at results, excellent.
They all paid.
Right. Well paid. I mean, she had some advantages, but she took advantage of it. Right.
Many
people had advantages and didn't capitalize. Right.
Nancy Heigl, Katherine Heigl's mom.
Not so much.
Fell off.
Yeah, because Katherine fell off. Maybe they both fell off. Something fell off.
Are you trying to take the last shot?
No, this is not the last. This is the intermediate.
Okay. Carmen Milan, Christina Milian's mom.
I give her a C.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Dina Lohan. Now we know. Now
D. D.
Yeah, well, she just seemed to not give her daughter the best advice.
And she, not only that,
because Lindsay Lohan was real popular at one point.
But see, not only that, you got to look at the influence of the dad also. That and their relationship, you know, or the relationship among the three of them, their dynamics,
not great.
Yeah.
Now this person was never officially the manager, but an advisor. Tina knows.
Excellent, devoted.
Matthew was the manager.
Yeah, but devoted, hardworking. He was the de facto. He was the manager. She was the de facto manager. She was the strength behind it, who kept it all together. Because he had his Achilles heel, which was running around being promiscuous.
Mandy Teefee, Selena Gomez's mom, an early career manager. They have since parted ways, though.
Yeah, but I'm going to give her. I think she did the best she could do up to the point that was all she could do. I think she did a good job. I'm giving her good marks.
Her daughter's a billionaire.
I'm giving her good marks. You know, she helped build that foundation. You know, so I'm giving her high marks.
Now, this one is random because you don't know her as well. Leslie Vogel, who managed Hayden Panettiere.
I don't know her that well.
You know
she's an actor.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. She had a child and was married to the Russian wrestler. Klitschko.
Yeah, she's the little one.
The little one.
Yeah, and she was married to one of the brothers, the Russian boxing brothers. Yeah.
Okay, so that's hard to tell.
Yeah,
and she's kind of
right.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a little bit more obscure than the other ones.
Okay, so let's go with some ones. I know you know all of these. Well, you don't know all of these. We know all of the people.
Okay.
All right. Sandra, is either Sandra or Sonia Norwood, which is of course Brandy and Ray J's mom.
Wonderful for Brandy. Well, she did good for Ray J, with being considering that he has no talent.
Yeah, he has
no discernible talent.
He has no.
He's
voice.
not funny in stand up. He's not a singer. He can't play an instrument that we know anything about. He's not a good dancer. He's not a good actor. Or a good rapper. Or any of that. He's done very well for somebody with like no discernible talent. Whatever his talent is not in the entertainment field.
Well, he did the sex tape.
Well, maybe that was it.
But
he didn't capitalize as much off it as Kim. Right.
Okay. Janetta Patton, well, we know her, Usher's mom.
Oh shoot! You know she did her thing.
She was excellent.
You know she was excellent. Anything that went to the left or to the right in there was beyond her control.
Yeah.
She did excellent.
She even was there up until his halftime show. She just kind of fallen back a little bit because Usher. How Usher is.
I'm not gonna say nothing. I'll tell you off air. But there's one little thing that I don't know, but it seems to not have been a problem.
Okay.
I think she stayed on top of things. You know,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, Nikki Taylor, Tiana Taylor's mom.
Well, she isn't as big as the rest of them, but
but she is moving and grooving.
Yeah.
She's in a movie coming out with Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall. She's in that Ryan Murphy movie coming out. Series. She's going to be playing Dionne Warwick. She was a choreographer.
I love her. I love that whole concept of her playing Dionne Warwick.
Yes, she's been a huge choreographer for Beyonce.
This is for
Doja Cat.
Okay. This is what I'm going to say. She
stuff.
Still is not up to all those other people that you mentioned, except Panettiere or whatever. She's not up to them yet, so it's harder for me to judge. That's all I was going to say.
No.
But as far as I can discern, she's doing well.
She's doing well.
Mm-hmm. And she played that lead in that, what is it, 1,000 something?
I forgot what it was, but she was the mom.
And she was very good.
Excellent in there.
She really was.
Donta West. She left her teaching career to manage content.
I'm going to say initially, as far as up until the time Donda passed, things was going beautifully. That I know of. Things were going beautifully. I think at the time that she transitioned, her son just deteriorated.
That's sad.
His mental health. That's what I believe. I believe that's a huge
I'm
piece
100%
of, not being able to process the grief, you know, and because it was him and her. You know, you really don't hear about Daddy. All you hear is Donda. You don't hear anything about Daddy.
No.
You know, so.
All right, let's move on to.
Okay. So Donda West posthumously gets high marks.
We mentioned Christina Milian's, right? We mentioned her,
yes.
Carmen Milian. Okay.
Right.
Teresa Caldwell, mom of Bow Wow.
In moderate.
I mean, he was popular when he was a child.
Yeah, but you know, you got to be able to transition.
Okay. I know you don't know this Waka Flocka.
I know that name, Waka Flocka.
Yeah, the mom, Deborah Anthony. I'll just leave it alone. I'm just going to say,
Yeah.
Okay, now this one, I know you know. Dolores Robinson, Halle Robinson's mom, managed her career for, 30 plus years.
I think she did a heck of a good job. You know, for what was happening and so on and so forth. I think she did a heck of a good job.
Now this one is very sad. Holly Thomas, who is the mom of Megan Thee Stallion, who managed Megan up until she passed in 2019.
Well, I think she died prematurely.
Yeah.
And so it's difficult to assess exactly
she
what
did a
impact.
Good job.
Right. I was getting ready to say, I think she built a pretty strong foundation.
For Megan.
For Megan. Given what she was working with, you know, and all the circumstances surrounding it, I think she just died before she was able to see it come to total fruition. That's what I think.
I agree. Okay. Tina Douglas, mom of Ashanti.
Overall, good. Overall, I'm going to give Tina Douglas high marks.
Yeah, I think she did a good job.
I think so too. I think Ashanti, in her own right, is a good writer. You know, in her own right. But I think she also received credits for writing and for actual performing. So I'm going to say good. I think she sort of overachieved given her capabilities.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Sharon Palmer is the last on our list. Keke Palmer's mom.
Fabulous.
She did a really good job.
Keke's been going strong that I know of since I went to the film festival and saw her in...
she was a child.
She was a child.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And she's been going strong ever since.
She's been working.
Right. I mean, she's still only young, but, you know, she was absolute kid then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's...
High marks.
A couple of shout-outs, if you want, to dadagers.
Okay.
Joe Simpson. What are your thoughts about him? Jessica and Ashley Simpson.
I'm not fond of him.
Okay, I understand.
I'm not fond of him because I really think he was the devil in disguise, interfering with her and Nick. I never did like that. I never did care for him.
So you think Nick and Jessica should have stayed together?
I don't know what they should have done, but he should have stayed the hell out of it.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
But we wouldn't have Love Is Blind, Ma.
Well, I don't know. We may have had it with different hosts.
That's true.
I don't know. I just know as a parent, I think he should have stepped back.
He had his own stuff that he needed to deal with. He should have stepped way back.
Right. He should have fallen way the hell back. Right.
How about Matthew Knowles? Matthew
Knowles was excellent and fiercely devoted to his children, in particular Beyonce. Well, Solange too, but Solange was a different type of a creative person on her own with a different attitude.
Right.
I think he was excellent. I think his Achilles heel was that he was so insecure that he still gravitated toward old school crap, that I'm macho man and I can do whatever. And I think that since then he's never been as popular. He's still around. Yeah, but ain't all that.
I have to mention the OG of OGs.
Go.
Who do you think?
Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson.
You know what? I think he was ignorant. I think he was brutal. I think he was all those things. But let me tell you what he did.
He raised some superstars?
He forgot to get mental health for the children. That's where the ignorance part hurt.
They didn't believe in that back then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Well, most didn't. Some did. Some few did.
But you know good and well.
But he had exceptional kids.
He did.
But as far as his goal of getting them to be all that, he did it, and he did it for a bunch of kids. Michael went to the stratosphere, something different.
And Janet was
right
close,
there.
yeah.
And Janet was right there. He did that for all. He could put money in the pockets of all his kids.
Yeah.
Including Rebe, which one of them wrote the song. Who wrote not Butterflies, for Rebe Jackson? I think Michael wrote the Rebe Jackson.
I forgot the name of the song, but yeah, I know.
Yeah. So he put money in the pockets of all of them,
kids.
And taught them a good work ethic. Whether he was too brutal and too ignorant and just and embrace some really kind of barbaric and crazy nonsense, it's true.
Yeah.
But many parents did at that time and didn't raise kids to do that well.
That's true.
Or almost how many families did that well?
No,
like almost none. And you can even say none.
Yeah.
2 or 3, right?
No, you're right.
Yeah, of any color, of anything, right? So Joe Jackson, they can say what they want to say. Joe this, Joe that. Joe had stuff money in their pocket. Now, whatever happened after that, if they should have spent half of that money in therapy, well, but they didn't. So that was that.
Yeah, Joe was a successful manager. What are some other things that he needed to help develop with his children? 100%. And himself, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he had limited resources at the time. And I think that he raised some superstars. And if it wasn't for Joe, we wouldn't have the Jacksons.
There you go.
We wouldn't have Michael. We wouldn't have Janet. We wouldn't have the rest of them.
There you go. That's it.
All right, Ma. Okay, so we're going to do 3 things that made you smile. But before we do that, I want to give a toast, an additional toast to you, Ma, for
to me?
always being a professional.
Oh, thank you.
Me having so much fun doing this podcast with you. I can't
that
believe
is the sweetest.
This many years.
You.
It's been over 360 episodes or whatever at this point.
At this point, that's right.
And so I'm just looking for 4 more, 10 more years, 20, however many more years to come. And expanding the podcast.
Okay, all right. So salud to the podcast, to us, to mothers and daughters, fathers and sons, and family. Salud.
Salud. Three things that made you smile. Oh, wow. That didn't look like it made you smile, Mom.
I'm going to give you 4.
Okay.
Family first.
Okay.
Sun, the stars, and the moon. That's 4 things that make me smile every day.
You copying off me. I'm going to go with family, I'm going to go with friends, and I'm going to go with sports, which I always just love.
Oh, thank you, daughter, for the sports update. Always. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, guys, thank you as always for continuing to support us. We're 4 years strong and long and continuing on. We're going to have some fun things coming up for you guys. We appreciate you. Continue to follow us on all social media platforms at the Bamgboshe Happy Hour and also at All Things Peju. We will be back again on Sunday, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out full episodes of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour podcast, streaming on most platforms.